FPS EXPO is organized by the FPS, the Federation of Petroleum Suppliers, and I'm sitting here with Mark Askew, the Chief Executive. So Mark, apart from organizing this event, what does the FPS do for its members?
Well, the FPS is a traditional trade association. In the UK, we take care of the members' interests broadly, whether that's legislation from Europe, legislation from the UK. We get involved with government bodies to talk about, like with the current tanker strike, we're involved in some discussions around that and emergency supplies. We provide fuel certification systems, depot auditing, a range of services to support the normal trade of our members.
So in terms of the fuel distribution and logistics market in the UK and Ireland, what are the main topics you're dealing with at the moment?
Well, the market in the UK has changed over the recent years. We're seeing now fewer and fewer major oil companies being involved to the extent they were in this sector of the fuel distribution market. So a lot of what used to be called authorised distributors who would distribute on behalf of Texaco or Shell are now disappearing because the majors aren't supporting that function anymore. So we're having to provide more of a support to those small companies to give them, the legal support and the technical support they need to carry on working in the market.
So the show is now closing down. How have the last 2 days been?
It's been very busy, I think. We haven't yet fully analysed the numbers. We think the numbers are probably slightly down on last year, but also still much higher than the year before. We've had a full show, which is nice in the current climate, where people have had bad winters and it's been a tough year for them. It's nice to see the amount of support we've had for the show, and it's nice to see so many old faces here. They've been with us for years and years, and we enjoy seeing them every year. So yes, busy. The workshops we've run alongside, the technical workshops, have been interesting and well attended. So generally it's been a good show for us, and I hope for the industry.
So we'll see you tonight for the dinner then?
Well, yes, I hope so. I think we deserve a bit of R&R at the end of 3 or 4 days of activity that we've had, yes.
We very much look forward to that. Thank you very much, Mark. Eurotank Environmental Ltd has a small booth here as well at the exhibition. And Geoffrey, can you tell me what you're showcasing here?
Yes, mainly we have our full range of tank maintenance services, which we continue to develop with the object of keeping down the time that any fuel installation, whether it's a petrol station or whether it's commercial refuelling, is out of action. So we're using high technology, and as you see in the background, there's a copy of a video that we've made, and we make every time we do a tank lining to make sure that the guys working in the tank are safe. So it's quite a unique system. So we developed lots of new things in the last year, and we always showcase them at the FPS.
I understand there have been some instances of fuel theft in the UK and also in other countries. So you have a new product for that. Can you explain me that one?
Yes, okay. Well, there are quite a lot of solutions on the market to protect the tops of tanks and the offset fills, but these mainly involve various locks and metal devices to prevent people getting in. The problem is that if a service engineer comes along and the manager is away with the keys and he has to get into the tank for an urgent reason like a suspected leak, then he ends up maybe trying to dismantle the security devices. What we've done is taken a completely fresh approach, and we've developed a system called Eurotank Guard, which is a very simple non-powered switch which is fitted to a bar underneath the manhole cover, whether it's new or existing, fitting any manhole. And as soon as the lid is removed, then a wireless signal is sent to a little aerial on the side of the building, which is connected to a control box, which could link into your tank gauge or to any other security system you have. It's very simple, and it means that you don't need other more complicated devices actually fitted to the tank.
I'm with John Reynolds. John is the sales manager for Cookson and Zinn in the UK. John, I understand you have developed a tank which is specifically suitable for biofuels. How is that product unique?
Yes, we have developed a tank. It's unique in a couple of ways. We've been aware as a tank manufacturer over the last few years that with the introduction of biofuels and ethanol, methanol-based fuels, that tanks have been contaminated with water and with other sort of residues from the tank wall when the fuels have been introduced. And what we've done is combine two technologies, one which we've had on the market for a number of years, which is called base frame, and also the technologies from the aviation industry, which have used a sloping tank, and put the two together and produce what we call biobase. It's a base frame tank which incorporates an installation base frame. The basis for that was health and safety with a major oil company, and into that frame introduced a slope and also an evacuation tube which enables any contaminant or any water in the tank to be taken away either by a contractor or by the site operator. And the other thing that we've also looked at doing and has turned out to be quite popular is to line the tanks as well. So we can partially or fully line the tanks with an epoxy liner. So the whole package is future-proofing for any fuels that are like to come onto the market. And yeah, been very successful with it.
And has that product been installed at this stage yet?
Yes, we've probably got, I would say, 9 dozen installations in the UK.
And is it also suitable for other countries in Europe?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, anybody that is using biofuels that has got this issue, these tanks can be used quite successfully. We're exporting more and more tanks these days around the world, and no reason why they can't be used in Europe or anywhere else. Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome, thank you.
Gareth Jenkins is Business Account Manager of Fairbanks Environmental. We all know Fairbanks from the forecourt part of the business. So what are you exactly targeting here at this event, Gareth?
This is a new event for us really to really start to try and understand a little bit more about the upstream side of things. People know us from forecourts and our wet stock management package and services that we offer. But with our real-time data that we're collecting from forecourts, we can actually provide a service to logistical businesses, so people who are supplying the forecourts, because we might be able to tell them the stock levels underground at the forecourts, we might be able to help with fuel ordering, and that really adds to the intelligence of the data that we can provide, not only to the forecourt owner, but also to the supplier, and it's really just exploring those opportunities.
Do you find the event helpful, interesting?
It is interesting. It's something that is quite different from the other shows that we do throughout the year. There's certainly a lot of people from the upstream side of things, as I say, tanker suppliers, vehicle supply companies, but also a lot of people that Fairbanks knows and I know from the downstream side of things, so forecourt service providers as well. So yeah, it's been an interesting day.
Thank you.
No problem, thanks very much.
I'm with Paul Rayner from Secu-Tech. He's the sales manager for the UK. So Paul, we've recently reported on a particularly interesting issue in the UK at the moment with the potential strike of tanker drivers, which has not been solved until today. So as I understand, the government is now training military personnel to replace those tanker drivers. Even with the training provided, do you think that that will be a problem?
Well, even with properly trained drivers, mistakes are made quite often on the stations. Typically in the UK, 1 in every 10,000 deliveries goes wrong, causing diesel and unleaded fuel to be cross-contaminated, which potentially can cause the customers' cars to be damaged. As a result of that, Secu-Tech as a company developed many years ago a product that would help prevent cross-contamination of the two products. With this type of product, even a relatively inexperienced driver would make a perfect delivery in complete safety. Such products are now being rolled out across many countries in Europe. We'd like to see it come into the UK because we think it would add a great deal of safety and driver comfort, take the stress away from the drivers when they're making the deliveries. And a situation that we're facing now, even less experienced drivers would be able to take these tankers and make perfect deliveries.
So you said that this product has been well adopted in many countries around Europe. So who are your customers that are using that product already?
Currently we are supplying Statoil across the whole of Scandinavia and the Baltics with systems. Recently won a tender for Q8 in Belgium and Holland for all their tankers. We've also supplied Jet across Central Europe. Shell started to equip their stations in Germany with our equipment. OMV, as we're an Austrian company, they've always used our systems. Eni, the Italian state oil company, have also been adopting the systems. And we're fortunate, we also produce test equipment for everybody else's system. So we're not the only manufacturer of this equipment because it conforms to an international standard. And we've been supplying other manufacturers with test equipment to test their product against our standard. Experience has been very good. The very first system we put in, which was in Austria, has been running now for 3 years and have had 0 incidents of crossovers. So we can virtually guarantee any tanker equipped with our system and the stations will suffer no crossovers in future. And we've seen from customers in the UK that these crossovers can cost anything from £50,000 to £100,000.
A lot of money.
It is, yeah. Especially when the profit is so small on fuel.
That's true. Thank you very much, Paul.
Okay, thank you.
This is Phil Maud from Vianet Fuel Solutions, formerly known as Brewlines Fuel Solutions. You're the managing director, and you're showcasing a very innovative product for commercial fleet refueling.
Indeed.
Can you explain me how that works?
What we have here is the All-Pack ORIC unit. This is a fuel management solution, basically for fleet operators. It allows them to control the issuance of fuel into their vehicles, be it cars, vans, HGVs. Traditionally, this kind of market has looked for card swipes or tag readers to control which vehicle filled up, and also manual entry of mileage from the odometer, etc. Our unit is able to offer that, but beyond that, the functionality using RFID nozzle identification means that this device attached to a nozzle can then talk to a ring which is attached to the vehicle filler cap. So basically, a vehicle simply drives up, inserts the nozzle in the vehicle filler, and the unit then recognises that vehicle, understands it's valid to fill, the amount of fuel it's allowed and the grade of fuel, etc. It then records all those transactions, which are then sent back to a central hosted web-based solution, so monitoring of all the fills and the quantities used can be recorded.
So it prevents fuel theft?
It's excellent for preventing fuel theft. If the nozzle's not in that unit, you cannot fill up. You can't fill a container or another vehicle, so it's a major benefit from that perspective. Going beyond that, the ring can then be attached to a data pass which is fitted in the vehicle, and then the odometer reading and all the tachograph, all the engine management data, whenever the vehicle fills up, can be recorded and transmitted back to the host as well, which means there's no need for drivers to enter odometer readings in. Drivers are notorious for entering the wrong readings or just putting the number 1 in, etc. So it's very useful from that perspective. Very fast as well. So at Heathrow Airport, speed is king. They've got thousands of vehicles have to get in and out and get back onto the strip doing their job. So filling up very quickly is important. And not losing cards or tags and causing problems is valuable as well.
So have you got many installations in place already?
Yeah, as I said, the major installation is in Airport Energy. They supply the fuel to a number of airports, particularly Heathrow. At Heathrow, there are 3 petrol stations where all the internal vehicles at Heathrow fill up. Those vehicles are able to go to any one of those stations, simply fill the vehicle, the details are recorded. There are a number of customers of Airport Energy. They are all billed separately by the central system, so every time somebody fills up, they know which customer it is, and it even manages the billing for them. Secondly, there are lots of vehicles at Heathrow Airport that are filled up. So Airport Energy operate a number of tankers which have a similar solution with a nozzle on, essentially portable petrol stations, and they drive around, and their drivers overnight go around and fill up buses and other vehicles on the forecourt on the airport just by filling them up, and again all the details are recorded automatically.
Sounds interesting. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much indeed.